Hello, and welcome to Sparring Sessions. My name's Dax, and we're here today to break down UFC Fight Night, Lopez versus Silva, UFC Mexico. Just kidding, it's in Texas. You'd think they try to do it in Mexico. UFC Noche, Noche UFC, whatever you want to call it. But I'm not here to do this alone. As always, I have a co-host with me, one of the faithful, UFC Genie. How you doing today, Genie?
Oh, I'm not bad, man.
No?
This main event has me
Ooh,
on the edge of my seat.
yeah.
It's nerve-wracking. A fight week of this caliber. Who cares about the boxing event? All I care about is John Silva versus Diego Lopez, to be honest with you.
I am going to be supremely more interested in John Silva versus Diego Lopez than um, Canelo Crawford. A friend of ours, Jesus, was over last night watching the Contender Series with me, and I said I'm probably not going to watch the main event, Canelo Crawford. And he's a big Canelo guy, but I'm like, it's going to be so boring, and it's going to be at 1 a.m., and I have to get up at 7 on Sunday. Why would I stay up to watch it? Let me put it this way. What would you rather watch this weekend, Canelo Crawford or what's the second best fight on this card? Or Zachary Cedric Dumas?
You know my answer.
Yeah, yeah.
You know my answer.
Well, I kind of gave my hand away, but let's talk about UFC Fight Night, Lopez versus Silva. Actually, you know what? Before we get into it, let's do a quick recap of last week. Pretty good card, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I
Yeah, go ahead. What were your
it
takes
was
on
pretty.
the
It was
card?
an eventful card for sure. It was like pretty good viewing wise, but like my picks, not it that week. I gotta say, not it last weekend.
Yeah, let's see. I have your picks right here because I run our picks chat. 6-7, not
Yeah,
great. Let me
I
run
got
through this
burned.
actually. I don't hate. Let me put it this way. I don't hate any of your picks. I kind of hate the McKee pick.
I got listen. Before I get roasted for that, when I was doing my research for that fight, what I found online was Axel Sola had a listed reach of 71 inches, which put
Damn.
him 7 inches below Reese McKee. When the fight happened, they showed the tail of the tape. He's actually 74 inches of reach. That's only 4 inches less. That's half of the reach advantage that I thought Reese McKee was going to have.
Yeah,
But
I,
he's
I always say with the debuting guys or like guys, the main event too was supposed to be six. What is it, 6-1 versus 6-3 or something? And you look at the weigh-ins. That's why I always say look at the face-offs. They're the same height in the fight. Even Brahal looked a little taller. So anyway, besides picks, good card. Would you agree?
there were some nasty finishes on the card.
Quick finishes.
The one that really stands out, Modestus Bukauskas versus Paul Craig, buzzer beater,
Ooh,
elbow.
that was
What the
crazy.
fuck? That was insane.
The GOAT, Sam Hughes, got a win. I was looking forward to the debut of Los Kita. Did not get that, unfortunately.
Patricio Pitbull,
Uh,
you want to talk
could
about him?
wouldn't take the fight.
What do you
I
think
actually
about
kind of
that?
respect him for it, you know. I not respect's the wrong word. I understand it. I probably would have done the same, you know.
I didn't like the way he was going about denying the fight to Lysine Kita. The way he was saying, like the I don't know, the mannerisms he was going about. He was like, "Oh, you're supposed to be the young, hungry. You're the debut guy. Oh, you're supposed to get it done." Like he was like mocking him a bit. It's like
Yeah,
he's telling you
listen, I
why he can't cut weight. He's an hour out and he's not sweating. You
I,
know?
I dislike Patricio Pitbull for other reasons, so you don't have to convince me. But yeah, let's jump into this card. In my opinion, a little worse. UFC Fight Night Lopez versus Silva, 3 p.m. Prelim start. Pretty good, I'd say. You know, they definitely timed it to match up with Canelo Crawford. Um, Different time zone too. Uh, Frostbank Center in San Antonio, Texas. I believe this is the first time they've been to Texas or San Antonio in 7 or 8 years. I think I saw online. 14 fights. 14 fights for the most part. It's kind of stayed together, I guess. We had Raul Rosas Jr. fell through. That was like the big one. I guess Raquel Pennington and Norma Dumont. That's like a meaningful fight. But is anybody that upset we're not going to see Raquel Pennington on Saturday?
I'm more
Um,
upset about Norma Dumont.
fair, fair. And then a few others. Nobody notable. What would you give the card as a whole, Jeannie?
This is a 6 out of 10. The
Yeah,
main
this is like
event's given it a boost.
it's like a C. But there's like I was scrolling. There's no fight I need to see here besides the main event. Even the co-main, I'm like, eh. Rob Font fight, yeah, I guess.
What
Top five. What?
you're not really excited to see Jose Medina versus Dusko Todorovic?
We'll talk about that fight. I got some thoughts on that fight. We'll talk about that in a second. Yeah, C for me. Uh, and let's jump right in. We got one of the better fights. I think this is going to be one of the better fights on the card. Um, we got the rebooked tough welterweight finale. Rodrigo Cezinando and Daniil Danchenko. This was booked for UFC 319. Got rescheduled to today or Saturday. What am I saying? Surprisingly, Danchenko minus 220, plus 185 for Cezinando. They were a lot closer to even money on 319. So maybe shows how the books are viewing this. Jeannie, you always, well, not last week when Will is hosting, but usually when I'm hosting, you go first as the guest or the co-host. So let's hear your pick here.
So I went back, I watched some of the tough highlights. I saw
Yeah,
the face off between these two guys. Daniil Donchenko is the bigger guy between these two. From what I've seen, he's got the more crisp striking, the more dangerous striking, if you want to say. And I think he's going to knock out Cezinando within the first 2 rounds of this fight.
interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, I'm going Cezinando. Actually, I think I think Danchenko's flawed. He's got the power, but I think he can be grappled, and I think he can be a bit too wild and give up opportunities trying to be exciting. And I'm curious how his cardio holds up. It hasn't really been a problem, but he's also not been like two of his three decision fights he lost. Or sorry, two of three, and then a weird like shortened one in his MMA debut. He's also just not been fighting for that long. And maybe I'm biased here. I'm at Cezinando, uh, good guy. I'm surprised he's a Canadian now. I'm surprised you're not pulling for the Canadians. We should also mention we didn't have time to do 2 episodes this week, so this is also our best bets episode, kind of merging in like last week. Best bets or value plays. You got anything here?
Not for this first fight, no. But I will have one for one of the next fights coming here soon.
I like it. I try not to bet on debuting guys and unranked women's fighters and unranked heavyweights. So
Yeah. I
uh,
think I got burned on the last tough finale too, like
you
last
picked
month.
what
Yeah,
was his
that
name?
random
Adiri?
Russian guy.
Yeah. Kazakh got triangled.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next up, we got another debuting fighter, Elise Pereira, or Pereira, whatever, fighting out of Brazil. Golden Girl, not related to Alex Pereira. Not he has a sister that's doing MMA. This isn't her. She's better than the sister, trust me. 5-0, weird regional like record ineligible fights on Tapology. 19 years old. And she's a favorite here. She's a minus 135. That number's come down though. I saw it at minus 250 earlier in the week. On the other side, Montserrat Rendon, 6-1, 1-1 the UFC. Been out for a year and a half now. Last lost to Daria Zhleznikova. What fight night was this? Definitely an Apex, right? No. Yes. Ribas versus Namajunas. That I can't imagine that fight actually happened. Um, this is one I'm hesitant to make like a decisive pick here. Pereira, this is women's bantamweight. Pereira should be the favorite here, and I'm gonna pick her. But if if Tapology's lying to me and she's not, 3 inches of reach with 2 inches of height, and also hadn't fought at featherweight in the past, and Montserrat's fought at flyweight, I might look at a Montserrat underdog play here, but she's 36. She's been out for a while. she lost her last fight to somebody I don't rank highly. I'm going Alice Pereira here again, kind of hedging. We'll wait to see the face-offs on Friday. I feel like, well, spoiler alert, I already watched your video. Tell me why you're picking Montserrat Rendon here.
I'm not picking Montserrat Rendon. I swear I picked Alice Pereira in the video. I
Did
think.
you?
I think.
Maybe
I'm
I'm
pretty
mixing
sure.
that up with the other women's fight. Um,
But I just want to
let's hear
say
it.
I could totally see that what you said getting clipped at the start there, where you said Alice Pereira is better than Aline Pereira. Just in case, if Alice ends
Yeah.
up losing this fight, man, that could be a funny one. I'm just
Have
saying.
you
But no, I
seen
see
Eileen Pereira fight?
I've seen her knock out some random Uber drivers in karate combat. Yeah, I never
She
watched her
went.
MMA.
She went to. Uh, she went to karate combat for a reason. One
Same
and
with Rebellis to
two.
Spain.
1 and 2. She lost to Cheyenne Bowers, and 5-3 fighter in LFA has knocked out some trash cans in karate combat.
Fair
Not
enough.
great, and also 34. So definitely, I would be shocked if anybody disagrees with me about that. But please continue.
Okay. Well, I don't really rate Montserrat Rendon that much. I mean, she lost to Daria Zelezniakova, who, I mean, that in itself is kind of sad. Just
Hmm.
that sentence in itself, losing to Daria Zelezniakova, and they're two women's fighters that I don't rate highly at all. And Alice Pereira, she's she's getting hyped up quite a bit. You know, she's got good striking by the looks of it. We don't
Yep.
really know. I don't know much about her grappling, but maybe Rendon's able to squeak out a boring one. But I think Alice Pereira is going to get this one done, whether it be on the feet or by decision.
Yeah.
So I'm taking Alice Pereira. I'm going to make her a best bet at minus 135.
-135. Wow. Okay. Interesting. You're that confident, huh? I mean,
Shouldn't
it's
be
interesting.
in a women's fight, and it's a debut, and she's 19. But I
Yeah,
don't know.
she's 19 though. Anyway.
I'm doing it. We're doing it.
All right, all right. You know what? Okay, I'll accept it. I'll accept it. It's one of the best bets. I have veto power as the main host for this
Come
episode.
on
I have
now.
veto power. I'm gonna veto you best betting Dusko Todorovic later.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
Next up, men's flyweight: Alessandro Costa versus Odin Korea. Cobra Korea is 10-3, making his UFC debut off Fury, not off Contender Series. He's off Fury. Not the champion. He beat the champion there, Paris Moran. Very good win. Popped for weed after. So he says it was for weed. They didn't actually release it. NSAC didn't. It was for drugs, but like you take your mileage there. It's not public. Before that, had some losses though. Uh, Nobody notable besides Paris Moran on either side. On the other side, Costa, no, is 2-2 in the UFC. Win over Kevin Borjas and Jimmy Flick. Losses to Amir Albazi and Steve Erceg. Been out for, again, a year and a half. If Tapauji is to be believed, same reach but 4 inches of height for Korea. Jeannie, this one's back to you. Are you going with the debuting guy or the minus? I should get the odds right here. -430 favorite. Huge number.
I'm going with Costa. This guy's really good. He's really polished. His striking's good, and he's got grappling to back it up. He lost to Steve Erceg and Amir Albazi. They're two. I mean, I don't want to say title contenders anymore. At one point, both of
They
them could
were,
have been.
yeah, top five.
Amir
Yeah.
Albazi not, but Steve Erceg challenged for the belt.
He almost did. If he was in a number one contender fight, if he beat Brandon Moreno, he would have gotten that belt.
Yeah,
The
if only.
title shot.
Korea, I don't know too much about this guy, and at this point, I just gotta not pick any people from another organization in their debut fights, minus Alice Pereira.
Yeah.
And I think Costa's very good, and I think he's getting set up here for a big win. I said that about Brad Tavares last week, though, so
I want to pick Korea here. I'm not going to though. I've seen him fight. He's very good, and I think he is UFC level. But he's making this on short notice debut. He had the no contest, whatever you want to call it there. He's just, you said polished. He's not polished. He's good all around. But he's kind of like he needs to be polished. Let me put it that way. Like, he's training under Daniel Pineda. Like, that's his head coach, and he's training with Josh Van, very good fighter. He's training with Hector Science, but he also lost to Alberto Trujillo. He lost to Joseph Camacho, two guys who at the time looked good, but have had their careers kind of flounder since. Costa's. It wouldn't shock me to. I'm not touching minus 430. It wouldn't shock me to see Costa get a 29-28 decision here. Over 2.5 plus 100. I'm thinking about it. It's so tough though. Debuting guys. I don't bet on debuting guys for a reason. No, we're not going to do it. Maybe you think about it though. Maybe if you're, it's not even a value play here, but I could see it. Let me go with that. Next,
You're not looking at a Costa finish here.
He's not a big finisher. Like,
Finishes last two wins, last three wins.
I guess the Kevin Borjas one is good. I didn't count the Jimmy Flick one at all. I don't think he finishes Korea here. No, I think he grapples him. Korea's pretty good. He's only been subbed once, and that was like late in the third round. So maybe you get the over 2.5 at plus 100, covers that. I think he can survive. He's fought some grapplers before. I don't see him getting KO'd on the feet. Next up, middleweight, Zachary Reese versus Cedric Dumas. Jeannie's favorite fighter is Cedric Dumas, fighting out of the Broward County Jail.
Come on.
Reminder, this guy was supposed to fight, was it 317? Minus 150 favorite, by the way. And he couldn't fight. Do you remember why, Jeannie?
Because he had an ankle monitor that couldn't get removed by in time.
Yep, and he couldn't leave the state.
Who was he supposed to fight? Eric McConaughey? Was
Jackson
that it?
McVeigh.
Ah.
I would have picked I did pick Jackson McVeigh, actually. West fought in April against Mikhail Olchechuk in Florida, funny enough. Zach Reese on the other side. Interesting UFC career, coming off a UD win over Dusko Todorovic. Bankrupted me, that fight. I had the under 1.5 at, what was that number? Minus 160? I think I had $900 on that. That was one of your specialties, wasn't it? And that was a Genie special. That was bad. That was a bad fight.
That was
2 inches of height for Reese, 2 inches of reach for Dumas. I never thought I'd see Zach Reese as a minus 240 favorite, but yeah. And for some reason, Cedric Dumas is still a UFC fighter. So this one is, this one's me, Zach Reese, all the way. Do I like him at 240? No. But he's going to take down Cedric Dumas. He might even blitz him on the feet. It's not like Dumbass has a good chin. He's been finished 3 times. Twice the guys who are not finishers, like Ruzaboyev and Fremd, are just not finishers. And decision wins over Cody Brundage, Abua Zaitar, and Dennis Tululin. Whereas Zach Reese, he doesn't have better wins, but I'll tell you, I look at those two and I'm like, yeah, Zachary Reese is going to first round destroy Cedric Dumas. And hopefully he gets cut, right?
I hope so, but it seems like he has some sort of deal with Dana White that he just always gets a matchup.
You know, those domestic abusers got to stick together.
Yeah, that's true. Zachary Reese is getting this one done, man.
Yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind. Listen, people are picking Dumas because he posted his bank account with only $13 in it. I think that's absolutely insane. People are justifying a pick on Cedric Dumas over the fact that he has $13 in his bank account because he got arrested too many times. Zachary Reese is the price of being an adult. He's going to absolutely destroy Cedric Dumas. That was his caption. Was it? This is the price of being an adult, right? $13. Like
Yep.
everyone's getting
No,
arrested 20 times.
it's a price. I posted it on my story. It's a price of having 8 felonies now,
Yeah.
something like that. I don't know. Bail is
Reese is a
not
brown
cheap.
belt in jiu-jitsu. He's got
Okay.
crisp striking on the feet. Finished Julian Marquez in what 20 seconds, I want to say. He's going to absolutely either nuke Cedric Dumas or he's going to choke him unconscious. I don't see Dumas tapping out. So we're saying Reese in round one.
Recent round one. That is going to be my first value play. My first bet is going to be value play Zach Reese round one plus 175. You could also go Zach Reese round one KO plus 325. I like plus 175 better, and my one of my best bets is going to be under 1.5 at minus 168. I'm going right back in the well. Fool me
You can put
once,
Reese in round one as one of my value plays, or one of my best bets as well.
best bets 175. I like it. All right, let's move on to a fight that I was going to say this is going to be less exciting. This could still be pretty exciting, I'm going to say. Jesus Aguilar versus Luis Garule. Was this the first Mexican fighter on UFC? No, Montserrat Rendon was. Okay. Second Mexican fighter. Not a lot of Mexicans on this card. You know what's that? It's supposed to be UFC Noche. Jesus Aguilar versus Luis Garule. Flyweights for you. Garule is your favorite. I was a little bit surprised to see this. Minus 225, a big favorite. Plus 190 for Aguilar. Garule made his UFC debut last time out of Contender Series in Fury and got knocked out by Ode Osborne. Aguilar has not fought since February, lost a UD to Rafael Esteban. Pretty much same height, same reach, same age. This one's back to you, Jeannie. You went with the big favorite or the underdog Mexican?
So how big of a favorite is he?
I got
Minus 230.
225.
Wow, he's. I feel like he was around that when I made my video. I am going with Jesus Aguilar. People forget, man. Stuart Nickel was a favorite against this dude, and he got choked unconscious in 30 seconds.
Yep.
Jesus Aguilar got a bad matchup in his last one against an undefeated guy named Rafael Esteban that is incredible at making fights boring into a decision where he gets exactly what he wants, and he makes fighters fight how he wants. And I think Luis Gurul is a bit too wild. He could either get put out on the feet or Jesus Aguilar is massively underrated in this slot. I really like plus 190. That's going to be a value play. Jesus Aguilar plus 190 money line. And I'm also putting a value play out for Jesus Aguilar inside the distance, whatever that is. Let me pull that up.
Let me see. I got that at plus 350.
I like it.
I'm going to do a value play on Jesus Aguilar myself. I'm a fan. I like his fighting style. I think he's going to win. And I'll give you one better. I'm going to do a value play. Jesus Aguilar, KO, TKO, plus 900. I don't hate it. He's got power. I mean, he knocked out the GOAT, Shannon Ross. You could go inside the distance, too. You could go submission. I don't hate any of those numbers. But plus 900, that's a big number for a guy who just got knocked out 3 months ago? What did I say? Okay, April. It's a little longer, but still. I mean, Luis Garule is not that good. And he can get knocked out. Next up, Tatiana Suarez versus Amanda Lemos. Suarez, huge favorite. Again, I did a lot of looking at these odds earlier in the week. She has swelled. Minus 470. I think I saw her at minus, it was in the twos last time I saw it. Kind of crazy, no? She's coming off her big title fight flop against Zhang Weili in February. Got dominated. I got that fight at such good money. Oh my god, I put so much money on Weili. Lemos on their side, last fought in March, got a UD over Yasmin Lucindo. Lemos is going to be older, but not by that much. 38 to 34. Pretty much same height and reach. So this one is... Oh, it's back to me. All right. I got to check one number here. Takedown defense for Amanda Lemos. 59%.
You got to remember, Suarez is very physical.
She is very physical, but she's also got so many injuries. I guess I'm going with Suarez here. But how about this? I'm going to put a value play on Amanda Lemos. You like that? Um, I think uh, she can do a lot of the things. Lemos is also very physical. That's one of her best attributes. She's very strong. I think she can do a lot of the things Wiley could do. You know what? No, screw it. I'm gonna make Amanda Lemos plus 3.5 a best bet at plus 150. How do you like that one? I think she can win a round. She's never been like blown out of the water. Maybe Virna, but like I guess her title fight, yeah. But like for the most part, this is a fade on Tatiana. I've never been super impressed by her, and I'm not impressed now. Um, and I'm picking her, but plus 3.5. That's good money for plus 150. I get the feeling you're not going to agree with that, though. Let's hear it.
Well, I mean, I understand putting money on the most. I do. I don't know. I wouldn't do it. I never like betting against who I think is gonna win. And like, I get it. Suarez got blown out of the water by Wei Li Zhang, but it's Wei Li. You know, she has a tendency of making other people in the division look terrible.
Yeah.
Lemos, I don't know. I've seen her get submitted twice before. Suarez is a submission artist. It feels like a setup fight. Lemos is tailing the end of her career. What was her last win? It was Lucindo.
Yeah.
That
March.
is a good win.
Yeah.
She beat her up, but Lucinda was at a reach disadvantage, I believe, and she's kind of young, and I feel like Suarez is going to get a submission win here. Minus 500, but you can get her submission prop at plus 130. I like that. That seems like value to me, and that's going to be a value play, not a best bet, but a value play.
Fair enough.
And that's
Fair
also my
enough.
pick, Tatiana Suarez by submission in the first 2 rounds.
I feel like that's how you got to go if you're picking her. But I don't really care to talk about that fight because I feel like it's going to be boring. So next up, Claudio Puelles versus Joaquin Silva. Neto BJJ is your favorite in the year of our Lord. Or sorry, no, he's an underdog now. Oh wow, at least that's a change. Plus 101, minus 121 for Claudio Puelles. Prince of Peru is going to be 7 years younger at 29, 2 inches of height, 3 inches of reach. Is hasn't fought since last February, over a year and a half. Lost a split decision to Fresiam. Fresiam and Dan Hooker, not too bad losses, especially in 2025. On the other side, Neto BJJ hasn't fought since last May. Big loss for both guys. Lost a UD to Jakar Close. That's not looking good. I guess the Edson Barbosa, but this one is back to me. Again, I got to look at the takedown defense here. Neto BJJ, where we at? Takedown defense, 69%. Oh, this one's a tough one for me, man. I'll be honest. Oh, wait, no, this is you. What am I saying? Go.
I'm going Claudio Puelles here.
Yeah.
I do understand the takedown defense thing, but I don't know. He got taken down twice against Clay Guida, who that dude's 50. Claudio Puelles is he's good at getting it to the ground usually. I sometimes he is at least. Like, I mean, Dan Hooker and Fresiam are getting taken. I think Claudio Puelles is getting this win, and minus 112 or whatever it is seems like a good line.
Yeah.
I kind of want to make that a best bet, but no, don't make it a don't make. Let's not make it a best bet. Let's hold off on that.
Okay. I guess I'm going Players too. The Dan Hooker fight put such a bad taste in my mouth. The whenever you're like laying on your stomach looking up at a dude because he won't come down to play with you on the mat, it just puts a horrible taste in my mouth. And for that reason, I'm gonna make Joaquin Silva KO a value play. Sorry about the technical difficulties there. Joaquin Silva by KO is going to be one of my value plays, plus 500. I think that's how he wins best. Just that image of Claudio Puelles on the ground, you know. Next up, Dusko Todorovic versus Jose Medina.
One of these guys
Thunder
have to win.
Todorovic. One of these guys. No, actually, that's not true. That's not true. How many no contests do each of them have? They've got to have at least one
Come on.
each, right? All right. Thunder. Dusko Todorovic is 12-6. 3-6 in the UFC, 3-fight losing streak, still around. Lost to Zach Reese by UD. We talked about it. Higher on the card though, which is interesting. Do you know? Do you know what Dusko Todorovic's best win is, Jeannie? Do you know who he has a win over before the UFC?
For the UFC.
Yeah,
No.
Michelle Pereira. Yep.
I'm never
Jose,
going to live down picking him against Anthony Hernandez.
You picked him against Anthony Hernandez?
Man, those body shots, man. People forget, man. Kevin
Yeah,
Holland.
I guess actually, it was pretty close. This was before the downfall. Jose Medina on the other side, plus 300. Not had a great UFC career either. 0-2, 0-1 on the contenders. He's one of those guys who he got beat. He got beat up so bad that it was entertaining, and he got beat and brought in. Lost by KO for the first time. Last time out, the chin got cracked by a Tebo Gautier in March. 1 inch of height for Dusko. Close in age, close in reach. I'm so happy that, oh no, this is me, isn't it? I really don't want to pick either guy here. Do I have to make a pick here?
You got to make a pick.
Let's see. How does either guy win is the question. None of them are good at anything.
One of them's good at getting hit.
They're both pretty bad at getting hit, I'll tell you that. I guess I'm picking Todorovic here. I hate saying that though. There's nothing in either of these guys' resumes that makes me want to pick either guy. So I guess I'll go with the younger guy since this isn't a betting pick. I'm not making it any sort of bet, but younger guy, more wins in the UFC, 3-0. I guess. Not a single bet here to be made. Nothing would surprise me, nor do I think anything is going to happen. So, let's hear it.
So, I don't know. I think you're making this harder than it is. One of these guys got into the UFC for being a literal punching bag. You know, just getting beat up on for 3 rounds. He got his contract on the Contender Series while in the hospital, if I remember correctly. He was already rushed to and they fucking videoed him in the hospital telling him he got a contract. He's the only guy in the company who's 0-3, gotten beat up every single fight, shown like no glimpses of goodness, and he somehow is still in the company getting these matchups. Dusko Todorovic, I get it, he's 3 losses in a row, but he went to a really close fight. It was a unanimous decision with Zachary Reese, but he did show glimpses of being a good fighter. And it's not just like he's getting beat up on the entire time, shaking his head no, asking for more. I get it, it's entertaining, but at the end of the day, he's doing nothing besides getting hit, shaking his head, and asking for more. I don't see him... I don't know. Maybe I'm talking it up too much, and at this point he's going to like spark Dusko out cold in the first round, get like a highlight reel knockout. He's going to get fucking hyped up like crazy. I don't see that happening. I see Dusko winning this fight. It's going to be boring. It's going to be a nothing. It's going to be a decision win for Dusko Todorovic, though.
That's what the money says, plus 120. It's the most favored prop to go to distance, yes, minus 145. If you're betting on this fight, you need some help. You need to see somebody. Your life is not good. I promise you that. Next up, Wang Li versus Santiago Luna, men's bantamweight. Li is bang Li, 1-2 in the UFC, beat Gaston Bolaños and lost to before that. Santiago Luna, border boy. Well, you can take that how you want. From Mexico, living in California. From California, fighting out of Mexico, excuse me. Making his debut 6-0, tough enough. Hasn't won a bout. Hasn't really beat anybody like crazy, crazy good. Like one guy who could be a little something, but way too early to see. This one's back to you, Jeannie. Let's. Or sorry, Luna's 21. Lee is 33. Luna last fought at featherweight, so he's coming down 3 inches of reach supposedly, but again, we're gonna have to see. Or sorry, 3 inch of height, but we're gonna have to see. So Jeannie, kind of a nothing, no information fight here. Who's taking it? Oh, sorry.
So
Minus 135 for Luna, plus 115 for Quang Lee.
this is a short notice replacement, if you're not aware.
This is a short notice replacement. I forgot to
Quang
say
Lee
that.
was supposed to fight David Martinez,
But
who's
Quang
now in the
Lee
co-main.
is also a short notice replacement too.
Well, Quang Lee was supposed to fight David Martinez, and then
But
they
David
just made David
Martinez was
Martinez
supposed to
fight.
fight Carlos Vera, and then Quang Lee stepped in, and then they
Oh,
pulled Martinez.
okay,
So it's
that's
short notice
interesting.
for both.
That's interesting. Okay, but I gotta go with Quang Lee here, to be honest with you. I do like the Gaston Bolanos win.
Yeah, it's
I
decent.
think Quang Lee has actual UFC experience. He's got, do I say grown man strength?
Sound guy.
I don't know. But a 21-year-old guy against a dude with UFC experience who's the underdog against this 21-year-old that we don't know anything about. I gotta go with Quang Lee. He just got a nice win in his last fight, and with Santiago stepping in on even shorter notice than Quang Lee. This is like 2 weeks short notice for Santiago Luna. I get it, Luna's going to be wanting to like show out for this, but it seems like a foot in the door move almost. Not that Quang Lee's like a crazy, crazy good prospect or anything and that he has no chance of beating Quang Lee. I just think Quang Lee is just... He's got that UFC experience. He got a nice win in his last outing. I see him getting this one done. Plus 115 is kind of a good line, I think, for Quang Lee. I'm going to make that a value play.
Yeah. Listen, I'm a decent prospect guy. I'm nowhere near any of our prospects, hunting friends, but I didn't even know this guy. Like, I can't think. Let me see. Which Tough Enough was he on? 44. I didn't watch this one. I think I saw some clips. I saw one. Oh, I watched one fight, and that was the David McGoyan fight from this because he was going to be on Contender Series.
David McGoyan. People forget, man. This guy's better than Sarukian.
People forget, man, how he was moving. Like, who's the last one of that? Was it 2024, Michelle Pereira? It's like the who's that dumb basketball guy? And it's like, LeBron, we're good. We got Ben Simmons. It's that, but it's Michelle Pereira.
Ben Simmons.
I guess I'm going Lee too. He's more experienced. He's a little older. I just don't know anything about Luna. The clips I saw, he's got power. He's got wrestling. Just didn't make me think like, yeah, this guy is gonna beat a UFC caliber guy. Who maybe he's not UFC caliber, but he's got a UFC win at least. All right, next up, Alexander Hernandez versus Diego Ferreira. This is pretty... It's not short notice, but it's like a month, I think, out for both of them. Hernandez just fought at 319, right? Yeah, 319, knocked out Chase Hooper, 3-fight win streak. Ferreira was supposed to fight on 319. King Green pulled out. So he last fought in January, 311. Hernandez is not a young guy. He's 32, but he's going to be 8 years younger than CDF. 2 inches of reach for CDF, though. This one is me. I'm going... Is he an underdog now? He is an underdog. Minus 102 for Alexander Hernandez. Minus 118 for CDF. 2 weight cuts in a month isn't good for either of them, but the younger guy who has gone down to featherweight recently, I think can take it better. He doesn't have great losses, but I think it's tough because, like, you look at CDF's wins. You got Mateusz Rebecki, great win. You can kind of poke a little hole in there. Michael Johnson, great win. You can kind of poke a little hole in there too, and he lost 3 before that they're great guys, and he beat Anthony Pettis before that. But man, is he getting up in age? He's a grappler who's turned to striking. That's never like unless you're Jim Miller. Like look at and Jim Miller got beat by Alexander Hernandez. This fight is not that different in my eyes from that fight. Um, so yeah, give me Hernandez here. Do I like him enough to make him a bet? I don't have any best bets this card so far. That tells you the quality of the card. Uh, no, but I'm gonna make a value play on Alexander Hernandez by decision at plus 250. How about that? You like that one?
I got to go with Alexander Hernandez.
Yeah.
For one, listen, I had full faith in picking Carlos Diego Ferreira against Bobby Green.
What was he in that
they're
fight?
pretty... Huh?
Was he a? He was a big favorite, right?
He was a favorite at least against Bobby Green, I think. Or it was closer in odds, though, I'm pretty sure. I don't think it was a crazy big favorite. But I had full faith in picking him there. Against an older Bobby Green, I thought he was going to be able to get that done. But this is breaking my rule if I go against him here. He's just too old, and he's against a dude that's quite a bit younger than him on like a massive win streak. This is the biggest win streak of Alexander Hernandez's career. And I think he's good.
Really?
It is. Before, he hadn't been on a 2-fight win streak in so long. And then now he's on a 3-fight win streak. You know, it's insane.
Yeah. Since he came into the UFC, look at that. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, he was a 50-50 fighter for so long. Now he's on a 3-fight win streak.
He still is, in spirit.
Yeah, he is. But he's rewriting history. And I think he's going to get it done against CFD. He's got a bit more confidence coming into this one, riding that massive knockout win over Chase Hooper. And I get it, it's Chase Hooper. Like, it's not crazy good on the feet. He's going to have more trouble on the feet with CFD than he did with Chase Hooper. But I think CFD has a higher possibility of... I'm not going to finish that sentence. Because I was about to say he had a higher possibility of gassing out than Hernandez, but I don't even know if that's true. I have a feeling Hernandez gets this one done no matter what. He's winning this fight. And I do like him at plus 100. I think I'm going to make that a best bet. I'm so ready to get burned by this one.
I kind of want to, but I don't know, man. It's just like there's sure. It's an Alexander Hernandez fight, but then you look, this is kind of like one of the highest level fights on the card, right? You know what? Let's go to a fight where we can both agree that both guys are good and nobody's old or washed and both guys have relevance. A Kelvin Gastelum fight. How about that? That was a joke. I know, it's Kelvin Gastelum. You don't want to laugh. Kelvin Gastelum is fighting Dustin Stoltzfus. Kelvin Gastelum's a huge favorite. Minus 230, plus 185 for Stoltzfus. Obviously, Gastelum lost by UD last time out to Joe Pyfer. He does not have a good topology, I'm telling you that. Despite his extensive UFC run, they're the same age. They're both 33. 3 inches of height, 3.5 inches of reach for Stoltzfus. And Stoltzfus, as far as I know, it's been a while since he's fought at welterweight. Has he fought at welterweight? I'm checking now. He's never fought at welterweight. Oh, that's crazy. Win over Joe Pyfer, by the way, who beat Kelvin Gastelum. This one is back to you, Jeannie. You picking the minus 230 Kevin Gastelum?
It's tempting. I'm not going to lie to you. I kind of do want to go with Dustin Stoltzfus.
I thought you meant Kelvin Gastelum's tempting. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right,
let me finish. Part of me does want to go with Dustin Stoltzfus.
Yeah.
4-inch reach advantage. He's got his striking has been looking better, even though he just lost to Ruzaboev. But
that was a good fight.
Cannot bring myself to pick him against Kelvin Gastelum, and I get it. It's Kelvin Gastelum. I get it. But he's gonna make this fight boring. He's gonna take down Dustin Stoltzfus. He's gonna make this the worst fight possible. People forget, man. Kelvin Gastelum has a fight in the Hall of Fame.
He is a UFC Hall of Famer. You are right about that.
Technically. And he's going to show that Hall of Fame skill get a decision victory over Dustin Stoltzfus. The bigger question is, can he beat the scale?
He's so fat, man. I remember he was making his move down to welterweight, or he made it once, didn't he? Again, he made it once, and then the second fight, Deep versus D Rod, a month out, he posted on his YouTube, taco. Where does he live? California or Texas? It's one of the two, right? California, San Jose, taqueria mukbang, and right then and there, I knew he wasn't gonna miss or make weight. He's just so fat. 5'9". Oh, come on, man. I'm 5'11". I walk around at 185 essentially. Pick Kelvin Gastelum at all. He's not going to take down Dustin Stoltzfus. I think we can kind of throw that out the window. He's only gotten takedowns for the most part on one guy in 4 years, and that was Daniel Rodriguez, and he was a weight bully there. But Stoltzfus is going to be bigger than him. Stoltzfus, who is the power here?
You'd think Stoltzfus.
I think so, right? Who's the last guy Kelvin Gastelum rocked? Darren? No. Was it Izzy?
Did he rock? Yeah, I guess he did.
He has... Yeah.
Chris Curtis?
No, you remember that was Chris Curtis was beating his ass until he eye poked him. That was one of the Chris Curtis rants. Give me Dustin Stoltzfus here. Why not? And I'll make him a value play. Plus 195. Over 2.5. Minus 205. Not playable. To go to decision... No, I don't want to touch that. Give me Dustin Stoltzfus, though. I'm going to have so few bets on this card. Oh, my God. Yeah, why not? Let's make it fun. Kelvin Gastelum win benefits nobody in 2025. Next up, third from the top, Jared Gordon versus Rafa Garcia. Flash Gordon, yes, he is still fighting. 21-7. He's your big favorite, too. Minus 230, plus 185 for Rafa Garcia. Gordon won by KO in May. Garcia on the other side won a UD over Vince Pichel in March. 6 years older is Gordon at 37. 2 inches of height for Gordon, 2 inches of reach for Garcia. Back to me. Do I go back-to-back dog here? I'm going back-to-back dog here.
Did you go with
Jared Gordon.
Garcia?
I don't like picking old guys. It's a pretty known fact here. Pretty well-known fact. He switched to Killcliff. No, he's still at Renzo Gracie. Yeah, give me Rafa. Give me Rafa Garcia. He doesn't have the best losses or the best wins, but I feel like he can put a bit of a pace on Jared Gordon. I don't know why. I don't like Jared Gordon. I don't like him at all. I don't know what fight of him turned me off, but I just really don't like him. And this is a lot closer than minus 230 to me. Yeah, why not? You can tell how convinced I am in this pick, but why not, right? Let's shoot for some underdogs. You're going Jared Gordon, then I take it? Let's hear why.
I'm going Jared Gordon. Jared Gordon gets a really bad rap. When you actually look at his last 5 fights, Paddy Pimblett, a fight he very arguably could have won. A large part of the fan base thinks he won that fight. The Bobby Green one was, it was a pretty good fight before the head clash, depending which way you had it. It could have gone either way still. He totally should have won that Nasrat Haqparast fight. He beat Nasrat in that fight. I do not agree with the decision at all. So if you actually look at it, he could be 4-1 in his last 5 fights. The one being a no contest, He could be 4-0-1 in his last 5 fights if you actually look at how they went. And Rafa Garcia, this guy, I don't rate a win over Vince Pichel. And getting finished on the ground by Grant Dawson is a bad look in my eyes. He beat an old Clay Guida, which I also don't rate. Jared Gordon just got a nice win over Thiago Moises. And I think Moises is on another level than Rafa Garcia, if I'm not going to lie. And I see Jared Gordon beating up Rafa Garcia and potentially scoring a TKO win, which is at plus 650 on the sports books. And I'm going to make that a value play. I see Jared Gordon winning this fight, depending on if it's a decision or a TKO, but the money is definitely there for the TKO, so that's going to be a value play of mine.
Wow. Value play. Okay. I wanted to. I took a sec. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I just nothing on this card except for the main event is giving me that like is giving me that drive to really get invested in a bet like that. You know. Um, this next fight, I actually do think I will have a best bet. Rob Font versus David Martinez. I want to see if you can guess what my best bet is going to be. Rob Font is your favorite, minus 130. David Martinez, plus 110 on the other side. This has come down a ton. David Martinez was at plus 180 earlier in the week. And for good reason. He's making his debut, he made his debut in March, KO'd Simon Oliveira, but that's his only win in the UFC. On the other side, Rob Font, 2 straight wins, John Matsumoto and Kyler Phillips. This is short notice, like we mentioned, for both guys. I mean, Rob Font was on the card. David Martinez kind of was too. A little short notice, but, whatever. Rob Font is 38. David Martinez is 27. 4-inch of reach for Font. So this one's Eugenie, and I want to see if you can guess my best bet here.
Rob Font should win this fight. The dude has a granite chin, has never been finished in his career. Great win over Gene Matsumoto in his last one out, which I feel like Gene was also a favorite in, I want to say. You got underdog odds for Rob Font, very close, but I think he was the very slight underdog. Rob Font is very
Plus
good.
130, yeah.
Yeah, and 4 inches of reach over David Martinez, who is coming in on short notice, having a massive step up since his first fight in the company, and I think that's going to be the difference maker here. One of these guys has been the perennial gatekeeper, and one of these guys is coming off of a win over Simon Oliveira.
Mm-hmm.
I think Rob Font's going to... David Martinez will have glimpses in this fight, but Rob Font's going to win this fight, and I see it being a decision. Definitely playing Rob Font at minus 130. That's a best bet for sure. And I think that's going to be your best bet.
It is my best bet. I really think he can wrestle here. I think he can wrestle. David Martinez, brand stinking new. 11 years old, yes. I mean, I said I don't like to bet on old guys, but this is a huge step up in competition. We just saw this. We just saw this with Rob Font twice. Huge step up in competition. Kyler Phillips and John Matsumoto. And before that, Adrian Yanez. Huge step up. Reach is going to be huge for a guy who uses a jab like crazy. I haven't really seen David Martinez wrestled except for kind of the Contender Series. And it's not like he's a crazy, like he gets knockouts, but some of these are late knockouts, you know? And, boxing guy, Rob Font, he can say a lot of things, not bad at boxing. So yeah, give me Rob Font, give me him, probably by decision. That's plus 110. Just go money line, minus 130. You can probably wait a little bit. It'll probably come down to even money. Yeah, I like that bet. I like that a lot. That's a co-main event. Main event, featherweight, Diego Lopez versus Jean Silva. Oh boy. Jean Silva is your big favorite, minus 231. Plus 196 on the other side for Diego Lopez. Lopez is coming off that title shot loss in April to Volk for that 5-fight winning streak. Jean Silva is on a very long winning streak. I'm not going to count that out. On that same card, beat Bryce Mitchell by ninja choke, avenging us Jews. 4 inches of reach for 4 inches of height, 3.5 inches of reach for Lopez. So, Jeannie, I see you got the hat on. I'm here to poop on your parade a little bit. I'm going Gian Lord Silva here. Even though...
Show that shirt. Show that shirt.
Even though here, in my UFC memory collection, I have a signed copy of a Diego Lopez poster.
And you're going against him?
I am going against him, and I'll bring up the photo here. Our buddy Jesus and I met him in a liquor store in Sandy Springs, Georgia. Listen, I don't like Diego Lopez's boxing. He has three things that he does. I'm a huge fan of both guys. This is mommy and daddy are fighting, and I have to pick one in court. You're the judge asking me to pick mommy or daddy to live with, and I'm going with mommy. I'm going with Jean Silva. Um, he is look at that. Look at that. Two guys, one of which would beat the other's ass, um, and don't try to prove
And the
that.
others fighting this weekend.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Diego Lopez has like three things on the feet. I've watched. I'm not like a stand-up analyst. I'm not the kind of guy who will tell you things, but a lot of people who I trust a lot in boxing analysis, I guess, kind of have been ridiculing that whole team. Alexa Grasso, Irene Aldana, Diego Lopez. Who's the fourth? There's somebody else. Loopy, for their horrible cagecraft because they cannot cut off the cage and they all just rely on power on the feet. And you're going against John Silva, who is the better stand-up, Diego Lopez or John Silva? Who is the better boxing?
I feel like it's more. I feel like it's deeper than that. I feel like there. I feel like
Pure
there's other
boxing,
things.
pure boxing.
Sure, Gene Silva.
Yeah. And you look, I went back and I watched the Bryce Mitchell fight. I watched the Charles Jourdain fight. I even watched the Weston Wilson and Kevin Vallejo's fights because he's got nothing but bangers. I mean, both of these guys, any of their fights, incredibly watchable. Um, but he wasn't afraid to go, a little bit into the fire with Weston Wilson and Bryce Mitchell, Charles Jourdain too. Hit some nasty reverse sweeps. They were trying to take him down, and he took them down, and then just stood right up. So I trust him not to play the game. I trust him to know what he's doing. Love the fighting nerds, even though they've had kind of a rough week. Um, and yeah, I don't know if he'll finish Diego Lopez. Diego Lopez is very tough, and it's not going to be like a drubbing, I don't think, but 86% takedown defense. I think Bryce Mitchell is a better wrestler than Diego Lopez, and he couldn't really get him down. Um, Only one time. So yeah, give me Gian Silva here. I wonder which way you're going.
Listen, Diego Lopez is going to make the adjustments needed to win this fight, and I get it. His last fight, his footwork was getting outclassed by Volk. Volk was
Yep.
outclassed him on the feet. Listen, Gene's. I've heard so many people go against Lopez because of his gym. I completely understand his gym needs to make improvements. Are we not acting like the fighting nerds have a hole in their gym as well on the ground? You're acting like all of these guys haven't been exposed on the ground before.
Two of them have been exposed on the ground.
Two of the
Not
four.
all of them,
Two
though.
of the four, sure.
Yeah.
But Gene Silva hasn't gone up against a guy as good as Diego Lopez, I don't think. And he's just too unfocused in the cage. You see him he's looking every which way. He's looking for his team. Oh, he's looking, oh, Kyle, look at this. Oh, look at this. Look what I'm about to do. He's never focused in the cage. He's
Yeah.
always like dapping people up. I hate that part about him. Like he's never actually fully active in the cage. Diego Lopez throws good calf kicks out there, and I think that could be a difference maker. He needs to throw a lot of feints out, which I do think Diego Lopez has been lacking in some of these fights. But if he leans heavily on the calf kicks and even grappling wise, I can see Diego Lopez winning this fight. And we haven't seen Gene Silva really push, like we haven't seen him with a lot of adversity. Drew Dober was landing some strikes, but he was getting beat the fuck up in that fight. And his eye was also gushing blood half of the fight, so it was hard for him to see. But I think Diego Lopez, one, he has zero quit. He's going to be marching forward no matter what. And I really do think Diego Lopez is going to get this done. He's got immense power. And if he connects good on Gene Silva, we could see him put out Gene Silva. We haven't seen Gene Silva tested the way he's going to be tested this weekend. And I get it. Diego Lopez, footwork, it needs to be improved. His gym definitely needs to improve that aspect. He's training at 2 gyms. It's not just the one. He's also training at another gym for his primary training.
Yeah.
And Gene Silva's only stuck at that one gym, which we've seen is susceptible to being exposed on the mat. And Diego Lopez is a black belt in BJJ. I see Diego Lopez winning this fight inside the distance. My best bet will be Diego Lopez, money line, slam it.
I'm going best bet. I'm going the other way. -5.5. Gian Silva. -165. I'm surprised you're not going +3.5 though. +135 or +5.5. +135.
I like the money line odds better.
Fair enough. So we're differing. I think I'm up 2-1 in when we differ. So I'm gonna count this, even though it's not direct 1-1. I'm gonna count this as maybe you'll get even, or maybe I'll go up 3-1. We'll see. Real quick, because we've been going for a minute, I'm going to rush through some of the weekend stuff going on. Regional Minute, MMA boxing outside UFC. We got LFA on Friday, 7:30, UFC Fight Pass. Mitchell McKee is fighting the main event. He's going to kill some Brazilian guy. And we have Gable Steveson making his UFC debut, or sorry, LFA debut, MMA debut as well, against Dude. Dude's 37. They picked him for a reason. We're going to see, hopefully, get a body. A few other names here you might recognize, Contender Series, that kind of thing. Bellator, Shine Bowers, Nikita Kolshin, Joey Hart. I'm sure there's somebody else I'm missing. Oh, Jordan Oliver is supposed to be on here. What else we got here? BKFC 80, Friday 8 p.m. BKFC debut of Yoel Romero. They found a taxi cab driver to fight him. The guy's 2-2 in MMA, 2-4 in amateur MMA. Nobody else really on the card, at least that I would know. I'm no BKFC guy though. Octagon 75 Saturday at noon. This is supposed to have Max Holzer, but it doesn't anymore, and so the card, to be honest, probably not worth watching. You got David Dvorak, former UFC fighter, on there, but he was always pretty boring. Cage Warriors 193, Hardwick versus Junior, Saturday at 1 p.m. George Hardwick was supposed to fight a guy. Now he's fighting another guy. Hasn't been a great few days for the Hardwicks. Let's see if he can pick it up again. Anybody else? Some brothers of some guys who we know. Figlak brother, Blair brother, the guy who just got flatlined last night on Contender Series. Tom Wright. Who's Wright? Who's the other British Wright dude? No. Oh, I'm thinking of Tom Breeze. What am I saying? Never mind. Canelo vs. Crawford, Saturday, 5:30 on Netflix. Kellen Walsh also on the card. Do you like boxing at all, Jeannie?
Yeah, I
Do
don't mind boxing.
Do you like this card? I know nothing about any of these people.
I think for how much it's been hyped, I think it's actually quite a weak card.
Fair enough. It's going to be boring as hell, in my opinion. I hate watching Canelo fights and Terrence Crawford fights. A guy who's going to be so much more interesting.
Make it a best bet, Canelo Alvarez at minus whatever. This guy, Crawford, said not even 4 years ago, he said, I will never fight Canelo. He's too big. I'm paraphrasing, but he said, I will not fight Canelo because he's too big. I'm too small. I'm not going to fight Canelo. Fight's never going to happen. And that was a couple of years ago. This fight's only happening because of money. It's being hyped up like crazy. Canelo is beating Crawford. -1 whatever.
185. I can give you a Canelo and Callum Walsh parlay at +103. I don't know anything about boxing, but seems like the UFC wants those two guys to win. Inoue, the good Inoue, Naoya Inoue is fighting Sunday. He'll probably fight, honestly, like 7 a.m. Eastern time. So if you're up that early on Sunday, want to watch him. And then ACA 192 British Sunday card at 10 a.m. Raush Manfio, former PFL champion. Am I crazy? Did he win a belt in PFL? He did. He beat Loik Rajabov in 2021. And now he's fighting some random Kazakh dude in ACA. All right, no UFC next week, Jeannie, but you know what that means. week after that, we're gonna have to figure something out for another week off. Week after that, UFC Fight Night, Ober vs Reyes in Perth, Australia. Real quick, favorite fight on the card besides the main event, and it's another. This one might be even worse. It's Tafa Komain, and the worst Tafa somehow.
Oh man, Justin Toff on the prelims and Junior Toff in the co-main.
Yep.
That's interesting. So that's interesting.
Yep.
I am actually going to hype up a fight on the prelims of this card between Josian Musasa, I fucked up that name. Josias Musasa and Colby Thickness. Both these guys are pretty good. Colby Thickness got a tough fight in his first fight in the company against Toporia's brother, and still made it to a decision against the guy. Didn't have many glimpses of goodness, but Toporia's brother ended up being pretty good. Musasa, this dude's a prospect. Did he lose his first fight? Was it he lost to Carlos Vera?
He lost to Carlos Vera. He got knocked out and then subbed.
Yeah, I forgot about that. But he's this fight's gonna be good. They are giving Colby Thickness they're giving him hell in this company. I hope he gets this win though. So that'll be a great fight though.
I'm probably going Jimmy Crute versus Ivan Urslan. Two guys who always bring it and are not that good, but always bring it. So should be a good fight. We'll be here to break it down. Yeah, hopefully with a little more enthusiasm, but I don't know. Looking at this card, we'll have to see. It's gonna have 16 fights too. Oh, Jesus. Well, Jeannie, thanks for coming on as always. Thank you, listener, viewer, for watching, for listening, and yeah, we'll see you next time. Peace out.